Good morning, soccer friends. Welcome to First Touch 26, our daily World Cup show that we are bringing to you every day from our beautiful Kickback studios here in Midtown Manhattan. We'll be with you every single morning of this tournament. Yes, we will. And guess what, guys? We are officially in it. Match day 1 in the books. We cannot wait to chat about it with you all. Today, I'm Susannah Fuller alongside my guys, David Gass and Matt Doyle. How are we feeling after one match day in, Doyle?
I feel amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the both games had really good MLS energy, which is what I was looking for. 3 red cards in the first game, and then MLS after
Staying
dark,
on brand, I see.
I loved it.
Fantastic. Gass, how about you?
It felt like the World Cup.
Yeah.
That was the part I was hoping for and the part that I was looking for. It felt like a thing that you used to. I mean, Mexico opening day is pretty usual for us as well. Mm-hmm. But it had the vibes that I wanted. So, yeah, I was there. I was here for it. I feel like it started, and I came in yelling about how much I'm buzzing today.
Yeah.
Is there one particular moment where you were like, oh, it does have the
I have
vibes?
one.
Oh, go.
Honestly, and this is going to sound very cheesy, but just being in a New York City pub with you guys.
With the little flags
with
hanging
the little
from the
flags
top.
everywhere.
Yeah,
the Scottish fans
the
wreaking
McTominay
havoc
chants.
sitting behind us. I was like, because I've experienced World Cups here in New York City before, and it's a fantastic place to consume this tournament because you just get so many people from so many different countries, and we talked about it a little yesterday. But to be in it, kind of sweating in a bar with you guys, I was like, oh God, yes, this feels like a World Cup. Because, the last World Cup, it was in the middle of winter, which is different. It was a completely different vibe. And so this felt like coming home a bit for me. And I took a moment yesterday at the bar to just kind of take it all in. This was really special.
The ladies at the next table from us, one was Mexican and one was Colombian. Mm-hmm. And so when Julian Quinones scored, I was like, oh, what is the reaction?
Yeah.
And they were
the best part was when they announced all 48 nations and they had them walk out with flags, which I did not like because it's not an Olympics. Do your thing. Don't do other people's things. There's my complaint. Okay. When England came out, all the Scotland fans booed. But it was like, I don't know what the reaction, maybe Colombia had come out close.
Like, yeah.
And she was like, no, Colombia. And everyone's like, no, trust me. The Scottish fans are not booing Colombia. They're booing England. That's what's happening. So that was a great one. I would just say, the Mexico green, and the Azteca, and there's a little bit of the haze in the air, and it just felt like a big game. It felt like whether it's World Cup qualifiers down there, which are always day games and big moments against the U.S. Or others, it just felt like, oh, this is the biggest soccer game. And I think what I felt in the second game, and we had different feelings about some parts of it. We'll talk about it. We're going to preview all the games, whatever, or talk about everything. The stakes of just no matter what the soccer game is, you realize those moments where it's like, this is the biggest game of every 4 years. This is the biggest game of this player's life because this is the thing that could change the perception of them, their lives, all this stuff. And you feel that in moments where I think what we said was coming out of the first half against South Korea, maybe in a league game, it's okay, we'll take 1-1.
Right.
Like, it's fine. It doesn't matter. And this was like, this is the biggest game we're going to play. We have to go for it.
Yeah, that second half was
awesome.
Yeah. Awesome. So much fun to watch. All right, guys, we're going to get into our 3 things.
Love it.
3 things. I guess these are kind of just our some takeaways.
That was my thing.
That was your thing?
Yeah, just like the Mexico vibes.
Okay.
It felt big. I think seeing the fans celebrate, seeing Mexicans in New York as well.
Yeah.
So that's my thing. I don't need to go again.
Okay.
Great. I love it. Congrats to the Azteca
Doyle,
for being the most historic stadium.
I mean, I'm kind of recycling my thing because that first South Korea goal, you pray for a goal that pretty just a couple of times a tournament, and to get it on day one, it was 25 pass buildup. They were so methodical and so precise in the way they were dragging Czechia apart just a little further, a little, step by step by step, because you see Czechia coming up and being a little bit indisciplined, and then Hwang In-beom, he releases from central midfield, which he never got to do when he played for the Whitecaps under Marc Dos Santos. He turned him into a cone. So he releases, adds that extra runner through the lines, 25th pass, and then that beautiful little Cruyff and finish to the back post. What a goal.
It was beautiful.
Everything you want to see from a world-class goal. And so I thought South Korea were awesome and completely deserved.
Yeah, that was a stunning moment. Leave it to me to be the vibe killer.
Oh. I had the under.
Well, no,
someone has to.
Someone's got to do it. No, I mean, overall, I'm feeling all the good things. I enjoyed that goal so much. I enjoyed so much of the soccer yesterday. One thing I did not enjoy, however, was the hydration breaks / commercial breaks. First, obviously noticed it in the Mexico game, and I think Tom Bogert actually tweeted about it and was like, it literally took the first game for them to miss so much of, not so much, but they missed the game because there were 5 commercials.
They missed 45 seconds of game time.
That could, you just don't, in a soccer match, and 45 seconds is a lot.
And
a
the
lot
commercial
can happen.
really kills. So it's just the flow
the
of what you're in. Yeah.
And
as much as the hydration break does already, which is what it is.
Which is fine.
Commercial makes it so much worse.
I don't have a problem with a hydration break because
70 degrees in rain.
that's also true. It's also true.
Mandated
it's
hydration
a lot
break.
hotter for the later match, but I just the flow of the game gets so interrupted. And even I was sitting in my hotel room last night watching the South Korea match, and it comes on, and I'm just like, I hate this. I really, really hate this, and there's nothing I can do about it except complain about it.
You can watch Telemundo.
Yeah, hit that Duolingo.
Yeah.
So, do you know what? That might be the move.
506-day streak right now. This guy.
Boom.
Wow.
I'm at 390 something.
Is it actually working for you?
So I can understand
Okay.
a decent amount, but I cannot speak other than Donde está el baño?
Donde está?
Una cerveza, por favor.
Well, that's it. That's about it. Because my mother, as a lot of people did during COVID, got on the Duolingo kick, and I think she was on a 400 something day streak. We then went on a family vacation to Mexico, and the woman was like, a deer in headlights.
Yeah, I mean,
and I know you get intimidated.
It's a lot more intense when it's not a cartoon bear.
But we kept,
and you can't click on it for the translation.
She kept being like, "Oh God, no, I'm going to be fine. I can speak. I can understand." And we were like, "Okay." So I'm just always curious, how
no, it's
how
worth it,
your
but you
brain
need
consumes it.
I think it just helps you once you get to the part where you're doing immersion, because you're not going to learn how to speak Spanish unless you're around people.
So you're
who speak
telling me I
Spanish.
just need to go live in Mexico City?
You should go to Mexico City, and you should get the vibes in person. You should go right now. Go for the World Cup.
I kind of like this plan.
Yeah.
A whole lot.
I will say, on top of the no commercial, shout out to Telemundo, because it felt very big yesterday. The ceremony, they showed the bus. This is what a World Cup should be. They showed the bus driving from the hotel to the stadium for 4 hours before. They showed people in the crowd. They had people on the field, the hits. And I talked to people around the Mexican game. Yesterday was a really big day for people around there. We're going to talk about the U.S. and Canada later. But part of this World Cup is for people who grind and build and do things. These are seminal moments. And I think it felt that way on the work Telemundo did. So tip of the cap.
Yeah. Fox didn't show Shakira and Burna Boy. So
they're not really
there's
big names,
that.
so no one cares.
That was a bummer. Completely missed it. Had to watch it online later. But good to know that Telemundo is doing the Lord's work here. All right, guys.
Bueno.
Muy bueno. Muy bueno. All right, let's get into some of these matches that we saw yesterday. We're obviously going to start with Mexico against South Africa. This is, El Tri in the Azteca. It looked amazing, as Gass mentioned, just elite vibes everywhere. And I will say a good result for Mexico. You win 2-0, you win that first game. We've talked about how important that is. However, the game itself left a little bit to be desired. And while Mexico did get the win and looked good at certain points, I wasn't overly blown away by their performance. But I think my biggest takeaway was, South Africa looked really bad.
This was, so they went to the semifinals of the AFCON in 2023. purely as a defensive side. I think you saw Ronan Williams in the game yesterday. Incredible. Like one of the best goalkeepers on the planet.
Yeah.
And he was the driving force for them. I thought Mbo Kaze was very good as well at center back for this team. Like
he should have been playing as their attacking
for sure.
midfielder.
He was the best player on the field.
only one who could complete a pass.
But they can't create chances. They don't have ideas to do it. And once they go behind, it's like almost over. And so that was an early goal to concede to Mexico. Then on the flip side, what I would say about Mexico is for the strengths they have, they are not cohesively dangerous consistently. They don't create a lot of chances through their play. So to get the chance out of the press because South Africa decided we have to play through them, which they did multiple times in the first half, and it's like, well, you don't really create chances out of that. What's the advantage of playing out of the back consistently in this way if it doesn't lead to anything for you? And then it ended up giving the goal and the second best chance for Mexico in that first half. But it was like a miserable situation for South Africa because they just can't play those game states. And for Mexico, it worked out where you get the early lead. You don't have to start to stress because we talked about the whistles. That didn't come because of this.
No, it didn't come. It could have because they were like they had no ability to change up the tempo, right? And South Africa was kind of asking for it, not just when they were trying to build out of the back, which I don't blame them for doing because you don't advance as a soccer country unless you start taking risks. And the meta in world soccer is to try to keep the ball more often. We even saw it from the Czechs a bit in the second game. And like South Africa's under no illusions. They are not a strong team, but they have to play like it. You have to take that hurdle before you can actually become, a Senegal type of team, to keep it in Africa or a Morocco. And it's going to be generations. But like this is the work you have to do. With Mexico, the hope was they have done so much work and that the vibes really are kind of better with this team that they would show a little more connectivity and then a little more confidence in working together to really put South Africa up against it. And it didn't feel like that. They didn't have those moments of sustained pressure, then back off, draw them up, getting behind, create chance after chance after chance. In moments, they were good, including both goals, one opportunistic, the other, really well constructed and kind of ruthless. But they didn't, I thought they would look the way South Korea looked in the second game.
That's just not the reality of this team. Yeah. And not against an opponent like this. I think they're going to look better against better teams where they don't have to control the game, but there is individual quality to hang in there. And I think defensively they're fine. Like they started a center back at right back. Like this was a safe game. I think Eric Lira is fine. He's a safe player. And so I thought
he was really good.
But to your point, no one changed tempo or pace in passing. There wasn't two quick give and goes where now we break out, right? There was one or two switches, but for the most part, the game stayed contained. And even when they got into triangles, it wasn't quickened. It wasn't slowed. It was just the same thing over and over, which has been Mexico at the Azteca for the last 11 years. And that's why Costa Rica and Panama have gotten life in these moments because they don't pull you apart. They don't make you feel like you're suffering. For all of the altitude and haze and all that stuff, you can sort of predict the game states and stay in it. And I think that's where, for Mexico, they may actually end up looking better in a knockout round against an England or an Argentina or whatever, where they don't have to control the game states and it's more reactive. Because outside of Jesus Gallardo or a Julian Quinones individual moment, how do they create chances?
So I actually have an answer to that. I have a glass half full take
Ooh.
on this. I thought Brian Gutierrez was constantly in those spots and actually trying to push the tempo off the ball. His touch was terrible. He did not, you could see.
There was two or three in midfield where you were like, whoa.
He was so nervy with his touches, but his brain was working really well. And I thought if he was cleaner, maybe we're having a different conversation about how Mexico.
What do you attribute that to then? Because we've seen what he can do. We know that he is a good player. He's also very young, and this is the biggest stage there is.
Is it? He's playing in the opening game of the World, and he's a really good player. He's not he's not a
as the Chicago native here, Berwyn's finest, Brian
Downers,
Gutierrez.
bro.
I was so stoked to see him in the starting 11, and then to your
he
point,
drew
his
the red
touches,
card.
I kept kind of.
He drew the red
He did
card?
draw the red.
Yep.
So there you go.
That's a very good point.
So
Something.
and that's what I mean. That was a moment where his movement off the ball was so good, and I'm sure that's what Aguirre sees from him. There was another one where he, played a no-look pass across his hips. It didn't quite connect, but that was Quinones in on goal. And he was the one who had those ideas. He just didn't have the final ball in him on the day.
So in that regard, when you're looking ahead to these other group stage matches for Mexico, do you like what they did in this first match? Is that going to be enough to top the group? Are they on the right track? Is it just a matter of kind of dialing it up?
Yeah, they need to play better if they're gonna. Yeah. If they that's the big adjustment, the play better adjustment. If they're gonna top the group,
do more.
Yeah, South Korea looked so damn good in that second game. And if you I would fancy. I would prefer. I think that South Korea has a good chance if they keep playing like that. That said, first game, global stage. I expect Mexico to play better.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's fair to expect. I think the result takes some pressure off too. They've got the 3 points. Yeah, right. I think there's some people are saying,
and we talked about how the fans can turn on the Mexico.
I don't understand
so
this,
quickly,
by the way.
So this felt very important.
Ben Wright, who we love, his data says they have a 100% chance of advancing.
So based upon he built a model based upon ELO ratings and then results.
Got it. Okay.
And so,
I was like, 100% feels pretty aggressive when you have not clinched.
So when you've won one game in the group already by multiple goals, and the other game has produced a loser by a goal, you have now two teams well behind you in the standings, and in a 48 team World Cup where 32 teams advance out of the group, you're in really excellent shape.
I think that's the hope for Mexico is now they can play a little looser. Now they can play a little freer. It will be interesting to see where the lineup goes from here. Mateo Chavez came off the bench, but Israel Reyes is a center back and doesn't really get forward and isn't a threat. We talked about Edson Alvarez, who didn't get the start coming back from a long injury spell. I don't know if that's a minutes thing or not. He could help add things. I would like to see Obed Vargas based off the way that game went, especially against Czechia, where he will drive. Yeah. He will beat guys 1v1. He plays forward. He's
the one who creates connectivity and tempo, and we've seen him do that against teams and then for teams like Atletico Madrid, and I'm really surprised that he's not first choice on this team. But to your point about Edson, he came in at D-mid, and he really struggled to turn. So I was like, all right, Cesar Montes got a red card. Yeah. Just put Edson in the middle of the back line.
Yeah. And then obviously that's the other piece. 3 red cards in this game. So that's all players who will be suspended going forward. So now depth starts to get tested.
Did you know there were only 4 red cards in the entire 2022 World Cup?
I do now.
4. There were 3 in the first match.
Didn't that Portugal-Holland game have 4 itself in 06?
Yeah.
Yes.
The Battle of whatever.
Yeah.
And this one
Nuremberg.
and this one, come on, man. And then this one now will be the whatever it is, red wedding of Mexico City.
Also, hate to do this to you, but we have to congratulate Matt Doyle, who now currently leads.
No, we don't. I want credit first.
Boot race.
I've done 6 weeks of content previewing Julian Quinones as a game changer, and he scored the opening goal at the World Cup.
I wish you guys could have seen.
Almost had a brace.
I'm gonna flip this table.
Was just straight. You almost flipped over the bar table. You were so.
I talked about it on First Touch with the Stadio guys. I did preview videos about him. Listen, I'll say this: I appreciate that Matt Doyle consumes my content and listens to me
honestly,
and values
it's a sign
my
of
opinion.
respect.
One of the foremost experts on world soccer, and I'm not trolling about this. I was absolutely trolling with that draft pick.
That was genuine, and I felt it.
Well, get ready because Mo Salah is about to score 18 goals for his team because of you.
Well, how about Sonny, who had about 1 billion chances last night and didn't net one of them?
He's a chance creator.
Listen, against South Africa, I feel like Sonny could help my cause.
That's a good point.
Let's just say that. In fact, on that note, let's move to that Czechia South Korea match. As we mentioned, this one was fun, especially the second half. A 2-1 win for South Korea. They had to come from behind in this one, which made it very interesting in the second half because, to Gass's point, the stakes are so high. And so you just saw, I think what we saw in South Korea was just this intensity turn up. And they were so good at creating chances yesterday. And I loved the way Czechia fought. I really did. And I walked away from this performance for them because they were in it the entire time. Thought they might be okay. You know, like I could see them getting a result against a South Africa.
know who
and
they
then
are.
suddenly, you know, points wise, you know, it's anyone's game. So I really enjoyed this match. This one for me was like, oh yeah, we're in it. This feels like the World Cup. Doyle, how did you feel about this one?
I mean, I was
takeaways.
kind of just blown away by South Korea aesthetically.
Yeah.
Right? They looked like what people always tell me Japan looks like, and I think Japan's so overrated. But
Doyle has 97 things happening right now.
South Korea, the way they use the ball, the patience that they approached that Czech low block with, and the way they created chances. There was some disconnection when Son would drop too deep.
Yeah.
They didn't have runners through, but they changed. You know, they had a good team talk at halftime, and I still, when the Czechs scored that goal off a long throw, I was like, of course.
Yeah, of
The team that
course.
plays better
Set piece,
soccer,
blah,
they're
blah,
going to
blah.
lose 1-0 to a freaking long throw because it's 2026, and that's what happens. But no, I mean, they then answered with, like I said, that absolutely gorgeous goal that you
beautiful.
get once or twice a tournament. They were creating these passing movements just constantly. It was beautiful, beautiful soccer, and I was so happy to see them get rewarded with a huge win. And coming back from a goal down in the World Cup, it's the hardest damn thing. It does not happen often. And to do it in the first game, kind of a must-win game, and now they're in complete control of their own destiny.
And I think you saw it in the emotion at the end.
Yeah.
Like they cut to the sideline, and Inbam, who scored the goal, was like down, borderline crying. Now for him, I think he's been through a lot of injuries, some weird transfers over the last 8 years. He played in Major League Soccer, so he's a player we know pretty well. It's one we fought over a decent amount when he was here.
Crying because he was like, 7 years ago I was playing for Mark Dos Santos, and Son came over. It's like, I know, me too.
Okay, but I think it shows the value of a win like this and the emotion. And to the point on Czechia, this is a team that qualified for the World Cup in a match that got 27% possession. Yeah. So they don't mind the thing that happened to them. They didn't get killed because they can't get on the ball. They got killed because that's who they are. And I think for them, maybe they come out of it and say, and we had a chance on a long throw, and we thought we scored a go-ahead goal
I feel like
again.
they just ran out of gas a little bit at the end.
They ran out of discipline. But they were naive and a little bit arrogant after they went up 1-0.
Yeah.
But isn't part of that also how long can players sit in? Right? Like
They're supposed to sit in for the whole game.
For sure, but
they're European.
But that doesn't mean that you're good at it. That doesn't mean that you can stay that connected to it. And I think it's easier with a national team because you only ask these guys to do this 10 to 12 times a year. And if it's a big tournament, if you ask someone to do it 3 times, great, because you'll be a national hero. You'll never buy another Pilsner or Quell in your life, like all that type of stuff. It's easier than saying, can you do this for 34 times for a club team every week? It's still like, okay, can you come out here and just not do the thing that's fun?
Yeah.
Soccer, fun? Yeah, don't do that part. Just sit in and defend and defend and defend. And so I just think it gets hard at some point to stay that contained. And on top of that, South Korea was good enough to then start to ask questions.
Yeah, they were excellent. There are 2 things. One, my buddy John Muller launched a new app called Footy, and they have descriptions of the team's style in the app. And for Czechia, it was launch and squish.
Yeah.
And then the other one is like, I really kind of thought the Czech coach looked like a great uncle of David Gass.
Dude.
You guys have the same.
I'm sure there's something in there. Someone from my family must be from somewhere around
This guy,
there.
he's 74 years old. He's the oldest head coach in this entire tournament. Every time the camera cut to him, I chuckled. Like he had the gold chain around his neck. He just looked like he should be like, I don't know, in like a dark bar, like smoking a cigar.
I'm sure he was after that.
He looked
game.
like the Godfather. Like it was just awesome. And I was like, that's
a good World Cup vibe right there.
It really fits.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
It was good. It was vibes. All right, guys. Time now for our First Touch Tactics Board presented by Football Manager 26. And good news, guys. We have basically the next best thing to the tactical immersion. It's Matt Doyle, who is our tactician, our master tactician. He's going to give us a deeper dive into what we can expect from the U.S. tonight, specifically with Alex Freeman.
Yeah, so we expect Paraguay to sit in a little bit. The U.S. are going to have to be protagonists in the same way that South Korea was, maybe not quite to that extent. And we know that the U.S. is going to try to get to that 3-2-4-1 system. But sometimes you need to break the system. Sometimes you need an X factor. And what we saw, especially against Senegal on Christian Pulisic's goal, is that Alex Freeman can be that X factor and take risks with his movement and his ball carrying.
All right, let's listen.
The U.S. men's national team has been running a dynamic, shape-shifting system, and it's working. If they're defending in a mid or low block, they're usually in a base 4-5-1, but one where the attacking midfielders have freedom to release into a 4-4-2. It's compact and hard to break down. Basic stuff. Where it gets interesting is in possession, as the shape completely reinvents itself into a 3-2-4-1. Anthony Robinson on the left, he's gone. He's bombing up the touchline, providing width the system needs, giving left center back Tim Ream a safety valve in possession while pulling defenders away from Christian Pulisic. On the right, Alex Freeman doesn't mirror him. Instead, he slides inward, dropping to become a third center back and giving the build-out a completely different texture on each side. See, while Ream is the primary ball progressor via passing, Freeman's the X factor. He's not just static in that back three. He's been given the green light to push forward, both on and off the ball. That means what looks like a routine possession phase can flip into transition in a single pass, as we saw against Senegal on Pulisic's goal. Opposing midfielders didn't know how to track him. The automations are incredibly clear. Robinson goes wide, Freeman goes inside, the shape solidifies, and the U.S. are a team that finally knows who they are.
Great stuff, Doyle.
Thanks,
The
Suze.
U.S. finally knows who they are,
I
huh?
think so.
Yeah?
Yeah. So
That was actually really helpful because I think I've been confused watching them, especially under Pochettino over the last year and change. And this kind of explained to me sort of the methodology and sort of the changing in shape that we have seen.
So there was this moment, obviously, during the March window when we got drilled by Belgium and Portugal that he tinkered around with it a little more and changed the way we get to that shape, that 3-2-4-1. He was having Tanner Tessman drop into the middle of the back line, and the U.S. completely lost shape in midfield because of it. So this goes back to what he was doing last autumn. We saw, started really against South Korea and then against Japan, Ecuador, Australia. It was kind of similar every single time. And the last two games, which were, I think, two really good games from the U.S., the Senegal win and the Germany loss. This was it. Alex Freeman, right center, started against right fullback because the U.S. defends in a 4-5-1 or a 4-4-2, comes inside, Jedi goes, and we get into that shape. And they've done it in a way that lets us really weaponize the press, which I think is something the U.S. is going to have in their, it's going to have to be plan A for them.
Yeah, we're going to get much more into the U.S. in just a bit. But before that, we're so proud to be partnered with the most immersive soccer game ever made, Football Manager 26. We've already did the full tournament simulation, but we can't help ourselves, right? We always want more fun. So we had to see how things would play out if we focused on just the U.S. men's national team. And we're not done. So David Gass is going to walk us through this simulation, and I'm very excited about this.
I would like it to be known that this was done like this. We didn't do it multiple times. We didn't make sure anything specific happens. We don't control it. This is what happened in the actual Football Manager game. So Derek's going to help me out for this one, and we're going to do it a little bit cleaner. So the U.S. obviously is going to start the group stage against Paraguay. And what we did is, so we have a results page. And obviously if you play the game, you can watch the highlights of every game. So the U.S. comes out the gates.
2-0.
That's actually what you did predict earlier today on the phone with shout out Coach Ian. And so it was 2-0 for the U.S. to open things up against Paraguay. Balogun gets going pretty quickly, which I think would be key for the U.S. Obviously, they dominate possession, which we do expect. Now, as Derek takes us to the next game, this is where things start to get weird. 1-0 loss to Australia.
That's It's possible.
Yeah. Now, to be clear, I believe Riley McGree is actually injured, who was part of the goal. So maybe that'll help the U.S. Wouldn't be shocking to me again. I have said this. I think Paraguay is the worst team in the group. I think Australia is above them. So that wouldn't surprise me, the change of results. But so this puts the U.S. in a tough spot. They now would travel back to L.A. as Derek takes us to the next one here. And they draw Turkey. Again, you'd probably take that, right? Blind right now.
I would
if it's what we needed to get out of the group, I would take it.
Right. So this is a little bit of frustration because in this scenario, Australia wins the group and the U.S. finishes in second place, which means that the U.S. ends up in a global conflict of U.S. versus Iran in the round of 32.
Oh, no.
As we take a look at the next game, I think that game is in Texas, if I'm correct. Correct. So in Dallas, Jerry World, USA versus Iran, the books that will be written about this game
the
from
day
a
before the 4th
geopolitical-
of July.
I don't. There's
Good
too
Lord.
much happening here. But on the field, from a soccer point of view, Florian Balogun continues his hot streak. Serginho Dest remains involved in the attacking play, and this kind of, as I watch the eyes, whatever, looked similar to 2022. The U.S. pushes play, but they're not dominant. Iran hangs in there, but now the U.S. they're in a round of 16. And now we're into the ball game. This is what we're talking about. And the U.S. matches up in the next round against Leo Messi and Argentina. And Football Manager, as Derek takes us there for this next one, says that the United States men's national team knocks off Argentina 2-0. Mauricio Pochettino against the country of his birth.
We outshot them 23-7.
Welcome to the game, baby. Welcome to the game, USA. So now we move to the next round. And now, big favorites, United States. 1-0 over Switzerland. Let's go, USA. Listen, this is actually the most believable result for me of the whole thing. But also a reminder, because they didn't win the group, now they're off in these weird stadiums that weren't really anticipated. So, like, shout out Kansas City, Soccer City, USA. You get a U.S. home game. And Switzerland are obviously.
I feel bad for Cameron and Wyatt Weeby because they're going to have to go to state school because Andrew
Weeby just dropped $5K
100%
on each ticket. But so the U.S. once again controlling possession in almost every single game they play. Obviously, what Football Manager does in their sims always tends to happen. So this sets up
rock chalk.
This sets up a semifinal of the World Cup in the United States.
I'd take it.
Get the beer commercials out.
Yeah.
It's USA Brazil, Derek. Let's go, USA! USA. So in Atlanta, 2-1 win for the U.S. Notice that Balogun involved in all the attack, but now Pulisic finally gets on the scoreboard. Vinicius gets a goal, and how do you guys feel right now?
I mean, my heart's racing
Yeah.
a little bit. I'm looking at we outshot Brazil and Argentina a combined 43 to 25.
Yeah, I think the over/under was probably close to that. I think that's what everyone had going into those games.
I feel like I'm in a fever dream right now.
So now the United States men's national team heads to the World Cup final.
And we did the sim once.
Yep. And in the final, the United States men's national team knocks off Ecuador.
Oh my God! All right.
The USA is the best team in CONMEBOL, and we've won.
We are the best team in the world.
Yeah, we rocked them too. Look at that XG. My God.
Listen, don't step into the Lions then if you don't want to be amongst them.
Oh my God.
First of all, shout out to Ecuador, who I believe in both our simulations made it to like the semifinal or the final. So for anyone out there looking for their dark horses, which we talked about yesterday, Ecuador could be on that list. For anyone who loves to live in the reality that just happened, get Football Manager 26. If you don't have it, you can live that world as well. And the United States men's national team are World Cup winners.
I got to tell you, if
2026.
this actually happens, then I will not be on the show that day, all right? Because I am liquidating all of my assets to get a ticket to the World Cup final.
100%.
Let's take a look at the final standings, which I think you would enjoy because this is what happened. So as we said, the best part is that the U.S. outshoots Brazil and Argentina, that they win the World Cup final, but they lose to Australia and Seattle in the group stage. Listen, things happen. And then if we take a look at our best 11, you actually will see, by the way, on that list, the U.S. basically doesn't concede. So Matt Freese, Tim Ream, Jedi, and Dest all make it into our best 11.
Is that Charlotte FC legend Jordi Alcivar?
Yeah, it is. Well, they made it to the World Cup final as well. Listen, I like the I like the Vinny Jr. performance because I put a lot of stock in this World Cup on Brazil and Vinny Jr.
Oh my God, that was wild.
You can't beat it. There's nothing like playing Football Manager. You get your fingers on the keys. You get to control what's happening. You get to influence culture and decisions. And as someone who's always been a USMNT fan, it's nice to have won the World Cup.
We got people in the comment section saying we all know that Tom did this at midnight on his laptop.
Possibly.
Big shout out to Theo. Theo's keeping it down for us. We don't let Tom anywhere near the actual tech of a show.
Absolutely not.
But Tom is out there on the road
Wow.
playing his own Football Manager as we go along the World Cup. So we will check in on him as we get through it.
What a journey you've just taken us on. Thank you,
I'm
guys.
kind of glowing a little.
Thank you, Football Manager. That was
I'm
glorious. Guys, Football Manager 26 International Mode is available now. You can download it and stream it on your favorite console, and the sale starts today through July 9th and is 50% off. So go get yours. All right, guys, time to get into our next segment presented by Soccer.com. Carry the crest as you represent your team this summer. You'll find the widest selection of World Cup gear at Soccer.com and get a free Gold Club membership with the purchase of any World Cup jersey with code KICKBACK. As a reminder, the Gold Club is the longest running and largest soccer loyalty program in the country, providing members with a lifetime of savings and rewards on their favorite soccer gear, like these beautiful kits.
Listen,
behind
of our
us.
kits up here, we're 1-0 so far. Mexico got their victory. Brazil will play Morocco tomorrow here in New Jersey. But today it'll be the U.S. men's national team.
They're really, really sharp. But yeah, big shouts to Soccer.com for outfitting us. Literally, my entire suitcase was just kits from them. So thanks, guys. You made packing really easy for me. All right, should we get into some match previews?
Yes.
What do we think? All right, U.S. men's national team taking on Paraguay tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. Matt Doyle, yesterday, you said, I'm not ready. I'm not ready for this. We didn't have the qualifying process. We're just being plopped into this World Cup environment, and you're not ready. You weren't ready yesterday. Are you ready
No.
now?
I'm not.
So nothing has changed.
No, I don't have the emotional calluses that you kind of need in order to properly consume World Cup soccer when you have a rooting interest. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to be a wreck.
Yeah. Everyone yesterday kind of asked me, like, are you rooting for Mexico, which I traditionally don't. And I was like, I'm happy for Mexico to do well this World Cup if the U.S. and Canada do well.
Yeah.
If they don't, I want Mexico to fall on their face. Mexico winning now puts the pressure on, I think, actually. At least as a fan, externally, I don't know that anyone in the U.S. camp's actually watching or cares. But yeah, I'm nervous. I think it's going to be tense. It's going to be tight. And it's the one-off chance. So,
Are you ready?
Yeah,
Oh, walk us
she's
through
got the
your
denim
process.
kit on.
I do. No, I think I'm at this point where we've had so many questions. I have been like this with this U.S. men's national team over the last couple of years. And so I think having those two friendlies against Senegal and Germany leading into this was massive for me, because it kind of it calmed me down a little bit, because before that I was like, I think we're much further out of our depth against the top teams in the world than we think we are. And those two matches, the way that we played, gave me a little bit of confidence heading into this one. And so now I'm like, okay, let's put our money where our mouth is.
Yeah.
And I'm just ready to kind of kick things off. I feel really good heading into this match against Paraguay for the U.S. I think there's probably, there's always going to be that maybe an initial tentativeness that you can see, but I have faith in this team that they are going to get this win. I think they know how important it is to beat this Paraguay team. They've done it before within, recent memory. So I feel I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm just ready for us to basically show up.
I said this to Doyle on our preview show, which we did a couple days ago, and we're going to do the Australia preview show coming up soon. So we'll have those on the Soccerwise channel. We also will be live post-game. Myself, McKelly, and then Doyle will join us tonight. So we'll be back here as the game ends. So when you're ready to shoot takes and either celebrate or be angry, we'll be here for that.
Can I ask how much will have been consumed?
Probably not that much, because I think I'm going to be so nervous about the game that doesn't help me.
You don't.
I mean, I'll consume the thing in my hand, but it will probably be water. Well, I will drink 95 glasses.
You're very
so I'm a nervous
responsible.
mover, but not as much that. Maybe then once the game ends, we'll see what happens on set. Bloody Marys were promised and not delivered today, so I'm just throwing it out there. My mom brought it up yesterday.
I know.
So
I'm halfway. I was sitting on the subway on the way here, and I was like, damn it.
Yeah. But what I said to Doyle is, this is the best I feel about the talent. And I think one of the issues for me has been there is a large part of the fan base that overrates the talent for the U.S. and overrates its ability to just break down anything else that's happening. Oh, the coach isn't cohesive. There's no cohesive unit. Well, they're too good. It doesn't matter. And that's pretty much not the case with anyone. But there's 4 or 5 teams in the world that it is the case for, and the U.S. isn't one of them. But I feel like I've seen a lot of the talent play to their best ability with the U.S. over these last 6 months.
Yes.
And especially those 2 games. And that's what feels really good is like being in Chicago on the sideline, like tight to the sideline, watching Sergiño Dest in person. You're like, oh, right. This guy can technically get out of any corner in the world.
And keep in mind, we haven't seen a lot of him over the last year. And so you forget that, he is a very effective player. He's very important.
Yeah. Alex Freeman then filling in the space for him. Watching Malik Tillman and Weston McKennie find their space. Watching against Germany, Christian Pulisic get in from the channel and turn and get upfield and play at his best, which is him moving forward. Watching the skill for Balogun when he's in the channel and he gets the ball. There's talent there. And it feels like the vibe around the group is pretty good. That's what we've gotten from Tom and everyone else that's been around the team. I think you saw it in the Knicks video that we showed. But like they're all together. They're all watching. They're all hanging out. And watching the documentary that they put out and watching a lot of this group together over the last 4 years and the fun they have and how interested they are. Pochettino was super relaxed in the press conference yesterday. I don't know if it could be the worst, that could be the start of the documentary for the next one. Like, look at these idiots. Or it could be the flip side, which was like, oh yeah, this was the vibe. It was good. I think all of that bodes really, really well. The other side is it's soccer and stuff happens.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And the one thing I was going to ask you as you did the tactical piece, so you talked about the shape. As Freeman comes in and they go into the 3, obviously, we know for Paraguay, there's not a ton of attacking danger. The one piece that they're going to try and get through is Miguel Almiron. And the goal they conceded in October and November, he's counter, but he's so wide.
Yeah.
He sits on the sideline. How does Freeman then deal with that? How does that change the U.S. shape?
I mean, it's obvious you have to be better about getting pressure to the ball upfield. If you go back and watch the clip of that, Gio Reyna, who was really good in that game, he's slow to press the back line, and he's always going to be slow to press the back line, which is why he's not a starter for club or country. He's going to be a super sub in this one. Weston McKennie's a lot better about that, and he's probably going to be playing as one of the 2 attacking midfielders for the U.S. in that one. So that's 1. And 2 is like, look, it's a game of risks. It's a game of margins, and no matter how good you are, there's a chance that the other team can play the exact right pass into the exact right run, and you're behind the play. It happens. It happens every game. And Paraguay's good enough to do that, whether Almiron is 100% fit. Yeah. Paraguayan press is reporting that Julio Enciso is actually fit to play, who we thought was not going to play at all.
This feels like everyone's on the same side. Yeah. And I respect it, but I don't believe it.
Yeah, that might be a bluff.
Yeah.
But also Chris Richards being fit might be a bluff. Yeah. So it's like there's a lot of games going on. Like you, I feel pretty good about what I saw the final 2 friendlies. I think Poch figured some stuff out.
Yeah.
But also, I know that I'm not ready. Yeah. I'm going to be sitting here like this.
Does it concern you that it took Poch that long to figure things out?
It pisses me off a little bit. And partially at him, partially at the player pool.
And the Federation.
And
he should have had the job 2 years ago. I don't know if he was available. I don't remember when he got fired. But he should have had it before. This should have been a 4-year cycle to build it. The Belgium whatever friendly should have been Copa America. Yeah. And then you would have had 2 more years to be like, that didn't work. This did work. And that's one of the frustrations. And now it's like you can cram for your test as much as you want, but then there's always, as someone who as a crammer,
Are you a crammer?
Did you not watch me before the show? There's the 90 seconds.
I actually witnessed your cramming.
There's the 90 seconds before
IRL.
it starts where you're like, if I had done some of this 2 weeks ago, I'd probably feel better right now. But then some people are better at that stuff.
Yeah.
And there is the chance really where because you can't do so much because you didn't have years to build all of these ideas and whatever, that the hope is that they do go out there and do the things they're good at. And that's where it's like, if Pulisic doesn't overthink and overplay, because there's not much Pochettino's given him because he hasn't been together. I mean, he missed Gold Cup last year. Like they haven't just go play. Yeah. And I think that's the big hope for the US.
That's the thing that I think Pochettino figured out over these last two friendlies is you can't play through Pulisic.
Yeah.
He doesn't make the game for you. You play to him as an attacker. And the big thing that I don't want to say happiest about, but like one of the things that really, jumped out at me was the play of Malik Tillman in making the game.
And you've been
I've been
big critic.
I thought he was so overrated last year in the Gold Cup, but and look, Suze, part of it is he's not a number 10.
Okay.
He's not.
Yeah, no, that's
but
fair.
Then when he's asked, playing as a number 8, he's like, oh, I hate that position. It's like, bro, it's your best position. You have to play there.
Yeah.
And now I think he's going to start there.
And it works with this team because he'll take a volume of touches.
Yeah.
So Pulisic doesn't feel like he has to come get it. His volume of touches will advance the game. It may not be the line-breaking pass every time, but will advance them into the attacking part of the field, and it will keep the game around there, which I think is what we saw as the Germany game went along, especially in that first half. And then, if they can get high enough, they can press and counter-press. And that's where their chances can come from. And I think that's where, we'll talk about Canada in a little bit.
Yeah.
I think for these teams, and one of the things Mexico didn't do as well, is that feeling when you're on the front foot, that will give them confidence. Like, yes, we are the favorites, and the crowd will get behind them, and that's what you need. To be on the front foot, you got to be in the attacking third. It's really hard to press from your own defensive third.
Yeah.
So, and Paraguay will allow some of that because of their gameplay. But I think that's where Tillman helps them get in that areas. Tyler can then be launched, and then Pulisic and whoever else it is, Balogun, Pepe, whatever it is, they can get active and be around the game. So the midfield pairing is like massively important.
Massively important.
And Tyler Adams' health is massively important because he's the he's the
healthy
jump
man.
guard.
He was
We need to
hurtling
keep him
that
healthy.
couch, celebrating the Knicks win, gave me confidence.
He's looking good.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about Chris Richards, and we know that he is apparently available for this match against Paraguay. But if you're Pochettino, how cautious are you going to be? Do you go for it because this is the World Cup and he is your best center back and he is so important to that back line? Or do you try to preserve his minutes? What's the right thing to do when you're dealing with a guy coming off an injury like that so soon?
I think if you think he's fit, it's fine to start him.
Right.
Because you have 5 subs, you have multiple windows. Your hope is that he starts the game, he has you settled, and then if you need to change later at halftime, 65th minute, whatever it is. Worst case scenario of all of this is you start him, he pulls up 7 minutes in, and now
But
the
it's not
vibe is
it's not a
broken.
muscle strain though, right? Remember, it's an
Yeah.
ankle
True.
sprain.
That's
Ankle
true. That's
sprain.
true.
So they know how healthy he is.
Yeah.
We don't. They could be lying to us,
Right.
right? Maybe he needs another week. But based upon, the initial prognosis of like a grade 2 ankle sprain, like we're right about at the point where guys tend to start coming back. Dave made a really good point last week when we were talking about this. Like, you have halftime. Maybe just start him and get him out there for the first half. If you think he has, an hour in him, put him out there and then make the assessment at halftime being like, you know what, he doesn't have quite an hour. He's behind the play a little bit. The fitness isn't there. We don't even have to burn a sub window. We just now it is dangerous. A lot of coaches will say you never put on a center back who you're going to have to sub because it changes too much. But Mark McKenzie's a big boy and Miles Robinson is a big boy, and like this is their dream.
Yeah.
If your job is to come in at halftime and help see out a result in a World Cup game, they are going to be champing at the bit.
And I think doing it at halftime is different than doing it in the flow of the game where it's like 60th minute. Now I have to come on and get the pace of the game where it's 45 minutes where you're sitting on the sideline, you're feeling it. Then you kind of come back and restart with everyone. So there's that slow 60 seconds where you start the second half, which I think at center back, it's really hard to come in and it's that center forwards at full speed and you're not. I think that changes a little bit at halftime, as well as while there'll be that initial nerves for those guys, I think some of it goes through at kickoff where you experience it from the sideline, where it's like, holy crap, I'm at a World Cup.
I wish our guy Walker was on the show, because one of the best tactical moves that Greg Berhalter made 4 years ago was bringing Walker on for like the final 15 minutes against Iran, because Iran was throwing the kitchen sink forward, and the U.S. flattened, went to a back five, put Walker in center field, and he was just winning everything in the air. And that was it for Iran. That was it. And like that, we're not talking about that type of change. We're talking about a like-for-like change instead of a formational shift. But I think the mentality has to be the same for McKenzie or Robinson, if and when they are subbed for Chris Richards.
All right,
or in reverse, if Chris Richards only plays the final half hour. So.
We shall see. That's why Pochettino gets paid the big bucks, right? In goal, we've got Matt Freese. We believe that is probably going to be the starter. Knowing that he does not have World Cup experience. He's got, enough caps, I think, with the U.S. men's national team. But, are you confident? How confident do you feel with Matt Freese?
Best 11 FM Sim.
Oh, well, that's absolutely true.
Yes. So how could you not be confident? He's the best 11 World Cup player. I think that I would have leaned Turner. I think I was leaning Turner coming into it. Partially was the World Cup experience. He's a Harvard man. You don't worry about a Harvard man. You carry yourself with dignity and class. I don't even know what their anthem stuff is. Right? He's actually already investing in the futures of what could come from him playing. He's a good goalkeeper. He's a solid player. I don't have like glowing things to say. I would be shocked if we're sitting here tonight or tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. and we say the U.S. lost this game because Matt Freese was on the field.
Yeah.
It would be a big move to give him the hook and to put Turner in. That said, Freese, I think, did leave the door cracked open with that performance against Germany. He wasn't great.
It'll be interesting. Tonight, guys, 9 p.m., the U.S. start their World Cup campaign. It's all happening. Doyle's finally feeling ready.
I've got a little pick for us.
What?
This is who I'm picking to win the game today.
You brought us coffee and...
a USA donut.
Wow.
USA.
Look at that.
It's rocket pop flavored. So if the U.S. wins this game because of that donut, they had other donuts in there, and this one's orange and blue. I don't know what that represents.
I think that's Netherlands.
Yeah, maybe. So I think if orange and blue teams are playing this weekend in sports and this one works, I think this donut might work. So good luck to any team that wears orange and blue. I don't know what sports
What
teams do
Knox
that.
is kind of orange and blue.
That must be it.
PK win.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
PK win this week in the Pricks Donut Cup.
Everyone's favorite.
And now I got to clean sprinkles off the new table.
The blue frosting is going to get everywhere.
I am eating both of these.
Yep. Good for you. Oh, look at you.
Look.
Man.
I saw it. I already coffee, and I was like, you know what?
What a guy. What a guy. All right, guys, let's switch gears over to our neighbors to the north. Canada will kick off their World Cup campaign against Bosnia Herzegovina in Toronto today at 3 p.m. Eastern. And my guy, David Gass, is very hyped for this. Tell us why.
So, for a lot of reasons. There's soccer reasons, the non-soccer reasons, and I might get emotional here because I'm excited, is I have a lot of friends in Canada. I've been lucky enough to cover soccer in Canada for over a decade, whether it's Montreal or Toronto, playoff games, MLS games, all that type of stuff. And I also hosted a podcast with two co-hosts out of Canada, remotely, obviously. I wish I was there. That would be my dream. So I know a lot of people in the core of the game in Canada, and I think we can all, I think, connect to this, and many people listening to this in the U.S. will as well. They're all builders. Everyone has been striving for something like this for 40, 50, 60 years. And 2015 was big to have the Women's World Cup there. But if you think about 1994 and then the boost to 99 in the U.S., it's happening now for Canada. And I think 2015 you saw energy and excitement and notice, but it wasn't the huge event that we thought would take over. And now this is the chance to do that. So there's excitement because I think it's a big deal and a big moment. There's excitement because, our friends at Footy Prime, Amy Walsh, who was captain of the women's national team, I listen to their podcast all the time. She talked about hearing the anthem, "Oh Canada," for the first time when you're at those big moments. Yeah. And other players who have played with Canada talked about standing in line as the anthem gets played. And so they're going to do that in Toronto. They put in a new sound system. Alanis Morissette's going to be singing.
What?
And one of the things I'm watching for is when TFC plays home games. And the first time I experienced this was an MLS Cup final. I didn't know. The singer sings the first opening stanza and then stops, and the crowd just picks up and sings "O Canada." And it was like a tidal wave of sound
Best
in my
national
face
anthem
that I've never.
ever.
It's the best national anthem on the planet, and I never experienced it before. And it's not a country that shows national pride that way that often. Sports are the time they do it, right? Hockey, other things in the Olympics, the women's national team. And so there's a lot of people who have spent their life building for this moment. And there are people who have grown leagues that collapsed over and over and over again. And there's small pockets of the ethnic game when you think of the Vaughan Azzurri in Toronto, and you think of all of the little groups that have created League One Ontario, which has grown to League One Across, which all of these guys have played in to find a pathway, because this was the goal, was to build a pathway to let players who wanted to play get there. And now we have a professional women's league built by former professional players on the women's Canadian team. You've got a men's professional league in the CPL, which is going to grow the game. You've got big MLS teams, and we hope Vancouver remains one of them.
They put out a statement today saying that there's productive talks between MLS and local tribes and local business leaders. So it felt hopeful.
Yeah, and there's a lot of up and down, I think, for a lot of things in terms of just the whole country experience right now for Canada, co-hosting a World Cup with the U.S., where the president's saying you'll be the 51st state and all this stuff, and then as well as the sport and where it stands. And Alphonso Davies is just the best example of why growing soccer matters, because he is an icon in Canada, and the background he came from it's something that's been shamed many times in the past. And he's the reason the World Cup's here. He stepped on the dais as a teenager and said, soccer matters in Canada. Soccer can be special. And now the World Cup is coming, as did Brianna Pinto. Shout out to Brianna. And he's a refugee born in a refugee camp who moved to Canada and found a community because of the sport, and now is able to bring it to another level. So I got chills thinking about it. One of my friends, I texted this morning, he's like, I woke up at 5:30 a.m. I've cried twice, but I'm also excited. It's a weird day. And I think that's what's happening, is like, this is just a huge deal. It's a big event. It's a big event for people who have given their life for this thing. Yeah. I mean, he's a Voyager since the 90s and talked about going and watching Canada play Jamaica in stadiums that were legally partially condemned. That's what we're talking about for this team, which then all of a sudden 5-7 years ago on a men's side started to change and started to elevate. And the game has just gotten better and better. I am so excited for all of those people and for that experience. And even for the Bosnia fans that are there, who many are Canadian. And that's like a beautiful part of Canada. And they talk about the mosaic and all of that. So I'm over the moon about this game. I think, as I said, from 94 to 99, the chance to just take that bump in 2015 was huge. And now these guys can take it to the next stage. And I think they're good enough. There's questions on the field. There's injuries. There's all of this. But like at its core, these guys are talented. And I think Jesse's going to have them ready to fly out of a cannon. And I think it's going to be fun. So there's
beautiful.
my vibes. Yeah. Thank you.
Really, really
I wish I was going to be
special.
there.
No. God, man.
Yeah. When they get to the semifinal, maybe we'll make it out.
There you go. There you go. Doyle, for you, just purely play on the field. Is Canada good enough to emerge from this group? Because they had a pretty favorable draw in with Bosnia Herzegovina, Qatar, and Switzerland.
Yeah.
They can top this group.
They should. I'm not going to say they should top it, but they should come out of this group. They're a better team than Bosnia and Herzegovina, who haven't beaten a World Cup.
And this is their
opponent.
I think their only second World Cup appearance.
Yeah, I think their last one was
2014.
2014.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Ebisevic started up top alongside Dzeko.
A St. Louis soccer legend.
Hey, listen, if it's not American, Bosnia's not going to a World Cup.
It's true.
Take me to America. Dun, 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 dun. I will assimilate. Take me to Golden Gate. Unreal song. Banger of a song.
This team showed against Italy that they know how to play against the ball. They know how to suffer. They know how to endure having a very low percentage of possession and then take their opportunities. And that, when you have Edin Dzeko up top as well, that can be a good plan.
Yeah.
I think Canada is going to put them up against it from the first kick. I think, as Dave said, they're going to be flying out of a cannon, just trying to set the terms of the engagement. And when they do that, they're really good. We saw it 2 years ago in Copa America. And we talk about Canada historically have not done anything at the World Cup. This is their third appearance. They've yet to win a game. Yet to collect a point.
How much does that ghost linger over them?
So if they hadn't had that performance 2 years ago in Copa America, then I think it would linger quite a bit. But they showed in that tournament that they can compete with some of the best teams in the world. And they have guys like Jonathan David, Tani Oluwaseyi, they have Ismail Kone and Steven Eustachio and Alistair Johnston. And, they're missing Moise Bombito and Alphonso Davies in this one, which is tough.
Yeah.
But they have other talent.
Yeah.
They have other dudes, and I think they're going to be ready.
On his day, Tajon Buchanan could be the most dangerous player on a field.
Yeah.
And I think for Canada fans, if you said, oh, your best player is out, Alphonso Davies, and the fact that they have other options would feel ridiculous. They do. There's a lot of players coming back from injury. That's my huge concern is you've got the guys that are out, but a number of guys who are going to play, they haven't played competitive games. So you have probably Alfie Jones is going to start at center back. He's played once since October, and it was the friendly against Uzbekistan. You have potentially Ali Ahmed, who I think needs to be in this team because of the balance he can give for Tajon or his ability to play left back because Richie Larea is on a minutes limit, and he might be the fill-in left back for Alphonso Davies, who's out. And it's just there's a cascade effect there for some of these guys. But my hope for this game for Canada is if they play on the front foot, they can create chances early. I think their strength can be central midfield. If Ismail Kone is healthy, he had a flu the other day. He left training early. If he's healthy and Eustachio is healthy, and I want Nathan Saliba in the game.
If it's Saliba and Chouanier instead, I'm actually okay with that. Those are good players.
But Kone breaks the game in a way that I think Ismail Kone, I'm going to put it here. Julian Quinones was my one yesterday.
Yeah.
I think Ismail Kone's breakout star for Canada for this World Cup globally.
Okay.
He is a game changer on a different level. The way he reads the game and reacts, half-turn stuff, the long touch when you actually want it, like the things he does are special, and he's bounced around. Marseille's a shit show, so it's not really his fault. I think he's going to be, and Jesse loves him. So I think he's going to be one of those guys that gets it. And, we all know Jesse Marsh. We're big fans of him. He says all the time, I play soccer the way I believe in life. You go and you attack. Like, all this stuff is real.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel fake when you're around him, which maybe with the last coach, some of the vibe stuff felt fake
Does he
for
still
Canada.
have the sword?
Maybe. The sword's probably floating around. I think all that stuff is real. So if you're a Canada fan, you should feel confident. Bosnia has their strengths. One of them is their size and therefore their set piece ability. So any foul in the attacking half becomes a dangerous chance. And that's where Canada is going to have to be careful, especially with how many pieces along the back line haven't really played together. And now set piece marking and all of that. And there are reports that there's going to be 25,000 Bosnia fans in the stadium.
Wow.
I think that's overrated. I think that's Bosnian reports. I think they'll have a contingent, but overall, I think it'll feel red.
Yeah. Okay, so where will this game be won? If Canada is going to get it done, X needs to happen. What does that look like?
I think the center forward pairing, whether it's David and Oluwaseyi or David and Larin, those are the guys who have to kind of make the game for Canada, both with and against the ball. They are the keystone to that press, making sure that Bosnia can't build easily, making sure that they're kind of funneled down blind alleys so that Buchanan and whether it's Ali Ahmed or Liam Miller, whoever, can create those turnovers and then get downhill instantly.
It's funny because you start mentioning the names of all these players. You don't realize. I was like, man, Canada has some depth on.
Yep, they've got multiple La Liga
roster,
players.
Like,
no, it's wild.
It's wild. Yeah. And as you mentioned, a lot of these guys coming back from injury. But if they can,
it would be
find
nice
a way.
to see Jonathan Osorio out there.
Because
he's
Toronto zone.
Most active caps now.
Shouts to Brampton.
Yeah. Brampton's going to be represented today for
Man.
sure. Yeah.
Oh, can you imagine being at one of those that restaurant that he took Kaylin Carr to in that movement episode? Like that scene there would be.
You think Kaylin's eating jerk chicken during this game? 100% chance.
Also, if you're an Italy fan, don't wear the Italy kit to the game.
No,
I get it.
please
You
don't.
bought the jersey before. Don't do it.
It's just sad.
Yeah.
It's just sad. Okay, how is Instagram working?
No,
again?
it is not. Instagram is down globally. It is not my fault.
What?
Oh, no, it just came up.
Okay.
Never mind. But hang on one sec. Let me make sure I have it in the right window. Yeah. Susie's going to close us on some things. And I don't know, Instagram globally decided to go down
I know.
at the exact time.
So I always want to end the show on, just some fun, some lighthearted things to make you smile and send you off on your World Cup viewing day on a high note. And one of the things that made me smile yesterday was Lamine Yamal is one of us. Guys, he was in
who is he shopping
Tennessee,
for?
an Oglethorpe Walmart with a cart that was absolutely
Derek, go to the computer for us,
full
please.
of God knows what. But
if you're listening on the podcast, it is
so
a
good.
full shopping cart of just the plastic bags you get.
This is real.
Is he hosting a barbecue?
This is European mind cannot comprehend type of
He's
stuff.
like, I needed soap, so I bought the whole box.
Right.
It's cheaper that way.
Boris Yeltsin at the Houston grocery store 35 years ago.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
All of these.
Are
images.
you that type of shopper? Well, you're in the sticks now, so you kind of have to be, right?
Yeah.
There's no more mom and pop stores.
She only gets down to the stores once a week.
But now I have a house, and so I go to Costco, and I'm like a kid in a candy store.
What do we think Lamine Yamal's staying in? Like, where is he putting this stuff?
I have
in a hotel room?
no idea. In Chattanooga,
He's putting it in his PJ for the flight home.
Slim pickings.
Because he
guys.
couldn't get any of this stuff if he wanted to.
I don't know. I just love it. All of the footage that we've seen of the
Suze,
Europeans experiencing this is so good.
When I was in Spain last year, I was like that except for tinned fish. I went to one of their big market, and I just my wife and I, we packed an extra suitcase. We brought it
specifically
just for tinned fish.
Before we get out of here, Derek, one more time, come to me. You gave me this, but this is DR Congo's arrival fits. This is unbelievable.
It is just.
And I live in a family print household. We're big family print, animal print fans.
Animal print is a neutral.
Yeah,
Meg would agree.
She said that, and I told you, and you said yeah, and I said there's no way you're saying.
So
that.
is this what you're
100%.
showing up to the show tomorrow
But
morning?
this is so good.
I would. First of all, the luggage is crazy.
What an entrance, though! Look at that.
If you're listening on podcast, we'll
good.
put it up on our socials as well.
It's
but basically,
cheetah print.
There's a cheetah print. I don't know, I guess sort of like vest type thing that goes over the suit that they're all wearing.
It's like a crossbody, almost like a crossbody.
But there's no bag connected to it.
No
And then they
bag.
have a giant
sack.
carry bag that is also this leopard print, and the DR
And they're all
Congo
wearing
team
suits.
showed up. Yeah.
And it's paired on top of a suit, which
it's
is
sick.
just so chic and sharp. And I saw this.
So
and
we're
I
DR
gasped.
Congo fans now.
100%.
We already were.
Yeah, that goes without saying.
You did the preview show with Musa on that side, but now we're especially are. Yeah.
Very interesting. So that's it, guys. You ready?
Nope.
I am ready.
Come on, Doyle.
Nope.
Live
After
show
all that-
tonight, which I'm hyped for. And I'm also hyped because tomorrow we start to get the actual World Cup schedule. 2 games is fun. It's a taste. Probably today I couldn't handle more with Canada and the U.S.
nibble.
But tomorrow we go 3, 4, 5 in a day. And now it's like just straight into the veins, baby.
Yep.
Don't need the coffee. Get that out of here. Just
Exactly.
give me World Cup mania.
Oh my God, so good. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Again, a reminder, we will be with you every single morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern on our YouTube channel. But yeah, we'll post it later, so you can check it out then too. But enjoy all the soccer, guys. Go USA. Go Canada. Let's do this thing. Doyle will be ready by the time the match starts, I promise. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.